Sorry. We're going to get this right. There we go.
If I share with you my story, would you share your shadow with me? Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door. Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hit his side of the story.
What's good? Everybody hit the like button. Welcome in, welcome in. What up, what up, what up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light. Of the psychologists who've dealt with these problems, and there have been many, for me, Carl Jung says the most. Now, I don't present him as a final, definitive theorist. His work is suggestive. This is an enormous subject and full of mystery still. So I want to begin today by briefly reviewing Jung's approach to the problem of the elementary ideas, which he calls archetypes of the unconscious. Now that immediately gives us a psychological ground on which to build. That these are, in some way, features in the unconscious of the human animal. And experiences that come in through the nervous system are assimilated and interpreted in terms of these psychological ground archetypes. So without further ado, I'll start my little exposition. It'll be a short exposition of the Jungian ideas, and then we will move on to illustrations from, as you'll see, very many different sources of the appearance of these themes. So to begin with, we start with this simple circle here. This is a picture of the soul, the psyche. Plato says the soul is a circle, so here we have it. Now every circle has a center, and that is indicated by the dot in the center there. The horizontal line represents the threshold of consciousness. Above that is our mental waking consciousness, and below that is what would be called the wisdom consciousness of the body itself. The term that Jung uses for the totality is the self. Now this word, the self, in his terminology, is not to be confused with the Hindu Atman, which has been translated as the self. If Atman were what I was talking about, there would be no circle there at all. It would be just a white flash on the screen.
My.
The Atman is undifferentiated consciousness.
Take your time.
But what Jung is talking about is consciousness enclosed in a specific human body, namely yours.
Yes.
And it is conditioned in all of its experience and action by the conditioning body in which it resides. Male, female, young, old, healthy, or decrepit one way or another. That is the machine that you've got to live with, and it's with that you've got to deal. There's no use wishing you were, 6'8" tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. The bounds of your experience are indicated by the circle. The center of consciousness is termed the ego. Simply means I. The term is the ich. I have represented this as rectangular.
Wait, did he say in German it's the ich? No, I'm just... Let me get right to it. I had to play some more Joseph Campbell. He was breaking down Jung's idea of the self, right? The ego. And let me tell you why this is important. Because let me just explain. Listen. The reason why relationships don't work is because most people are self-unaware. If there's a high level of self-unawareness, there will be a high level of self-acceptance. Where there is a high level of non-self-acceptance, there will be a high level of codependency because you will be relying on external sources to extrapolate meaning and happiness. If you understood what he said when he was breaking down these Jungian archetypes, the subconscious is the repository of information, generational information, information about you, the subconscious, almost like your spiritual connection to what many metaphysicists call the Akashic records. You begin to understand I'm bigger than this personality. I'm bigger than this self, right? This is why all of the ancient Eastern belief systems are trying to escape the self and reach divine union with the higher self. Now, there's a movement out there called, decenter from men. In other words, stop making men the focal point for your happiness. And then men, consequently, have their own version, decenter from women, right? And what happens is it looks to me as an inverted form of what psychologists call the enhancement bias. With the enhancement bias, what you tend to do, because you have a vested interest in making the relationship work, what you tend to do is minimize the red flags you see in another person. Now remember, the red flags you see in another person are flags that you know from experience. Right? You understand? Like, this is the relationship as a mirror. You get who you are, right? You're recognizing red flags. But because you have a vested interest in the relationship, you want the relationship to work. So you minimize, right, the red flags you see. And then the green flags you see, a euphemism for the good qualities in the person. You tend to aggrandize those. And this is the enhancement bias, or what they call the honeymoon period. Usually lasts about 18 months if you make it that long. Now, after 18 months, you start to settle into the truth of who you are. Your partner starts to settle into the truth of who they are, right? We're past the performance. We're past, the pleasantries, and now we can get down to the brass tacks of who we are. Let me just say this. I'm so sick of folk coming in and avoiding the work. To me, decenter him or decenter her as a movement is problematic because it still has the vestiges and the remnants of a potential victimhood mindset. What it does is it flips the enhancement bias in reverse. It's saying, look at what's wrong with them and then don't proceed. Well, damn it, why are you attracted to red flags? I ask myself this all day, every day. Why are you attracted to red flags? What about the red flag is intoxicating to you? See, this your work. But instead of saying we all got work to do, we're all works in progress, we all need to focus on what is ours to control, we'll create a whole movement. Do you understand? Now, this is what really bothers me. You guys saw the clip of the young lady who used to date Travis Kelce, right? The football player for the Kansas City Chiefs. What's her name? Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole. Let me tell you something right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. The girl is finer than Persian frog hair. The girl, whoo, when I tell you, the girl is beautiful. Hey, hallelujah. The girl is beautiful now. Ain't nobody gonna question how fine she is. Okay? But it's something about this generation or the younger generation. Something's happening. We got decenter them, decenter her, decenter him, but nobody is really trying to decenter themselves, decenter their ego, decenter their wounds. They want somebody to show up in their life already ready to go. I'm looking for a good man. We've been hearing that for generations. I'm looking for a good woman. So I'm listening to the young lady, and she says, do I look like somebody that would go 50-50? It blew my mind. Listen, all relationships are 50-50. You've been listening to goofies out here on podcasts, on radio, on YouTube. You've been listening to goofies. Okay? The whole 50-50 argument is dumb. You know why it's dumb? Because black people in general are the brokest people in America. Us as a group. Sure, I can point out Jay-Z. I can point out several billionaires. We can point out black people that are doing well. Sure, yes, we can. But as a collective, black people are at the bottom of every economic statistic, pretty much. 83 million white households. Damn near 15 million of them white households can touch $1 million. Did you know that? You got white households that can touch 10 million though. If you don't understand the wealth gap, if you don't understand the need for reparations, and you going, do I look like, you mean just because you look like something? How do you make somebody feel? How do you nurture? And I don't know her personally. I'm not trying to besmirch her character. I'm just saying what she led with was her looks, right? I'm not trying to put her down or reprimand her. I'm simply saying all relationships, if you sit down and go to therapy, they'll tell you this is a dyadic connection. We are connected. It's dyadic, meaning dual. All relationships are 50-50, meaning you give your 100% to make this thing work, and I give my 100% to make this work, and together we got 200%. Relationships are like music publishing, right? You got 100% writers, and then you have 100% composers, right? If a person, this is why TLC was broke, because they didn't write nothing. But I digress. It's 200% in publishing, okay? The writer gets 100% if he wrote 100% of the song. The person who composes the music gets 100% if he composed 100% of the music. Relationships work that way. Hey, bring your 100% and team up with my 100%, and we got 200% of the publishing. Let's go. It's dyadic. It's a dyadic experience. But because we are a society that is so damn afraid to do the self-work, to look at self, to conquer self, we got all these goofy little ideations and intellectual traps. Hey, let's create the decenter them movement. When I come forward, I got questions because this is getting crazy. Man, this iPhone case is the cheapest, expensive iPhone case you can buy. The little rubber piece just came off. Wait, what? What? Pretty Brown Mimi? Well, Tavis may have gotten Kayla Nicole accustomed to being taken care of. What does that mean? I want to know. Let me in. I want to know. I want to know. Everybody hit the like button, 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 hit the like button. Like it up. We got 47 people, only 24 likes. Let's get busy. Oh, and by the way, 8 new episodes uploaded to the podcast. I find that listening to the shows on the podcast, on the Apple podcast, is very enjoyable. The shows go really quick. The edits are really good. What is she, a child? She needs an allowance? What up, what up, what up, Ida? I really want you guys to call in and help me with this topic. No, I'm dead ass serious. I want to know your opinion and perspective. Please call in 1-800-920-1580. Moderators, please put the number in. I want people to call in. Call in.
The human magnet syndrome, the codependent narcissist trap. Not so much by what they see, feel, and think, but by invisible, unconscious romantic forces. The chemistry that love-struck codependents and narcissists experience when they first meet is the human magnet syndrome. Once together, these opposite but perfectly matched lovers are bonded together in a breakup-resistant relationship. The human magnet syndrome begins like an enchanting fantasy, but later unfolds into an endless seesaw of hope and disappointment. Predictably, the soulmate of the codependent's dreams transforms into the narcissistic cellmate of their nightmares. Readers of the human magnet syndrome will better understand why they, despite their dreams for true love, find themselves hopelessly and painfully in love with partners who perpetually hurt them. This breakthrough book will guide and inspire both the layman and the professional. Get it?
I really want people to go get The Human Magnet Syndrome by Dr. Ross Rosenberg. Because what's being described there is the spiritual work that happens in every relationship. Be honest, how often do you hear folk talking about that? You probably tired of hearing it from me because I'm on every day talking about it. But other than me, who's really digging deep and bringing all these various perspectives on the spirit work that is required? All relationships are 50-50. Do you understand? And it ain't always got to be 50-50 with money. Even though with black folk needing reparations, didn't California and Gavin Newsom and them put together a study to find out how much money and the feasibility of getting black residents reparations? Reparations is an issue. You remember the Freedmen's Bureau? Remember 40 Acres and a Mule? You remember, hey, yeah, it's just a study. It ain't a check yet. Yeah, that means we need a check, though. Do you understand? Do you see that? Okay. 50-50. What does it mean? If you pour into me, I should pour into you. And not by force, right? not by force, right? But if we are in this dyadic exchange, nah, we've turned it all transactional. I will love you if you prove to me that you love me. Do you see where we are? I will care for you and nurture you if you nurture me. It's a down payment. So instead of doing the work, let's decenter. But nobody's really decentering from the toxicity of the self. You see? This is the big piece right here. When I come forward, I'm going to break this down even further. I encourage you to call in because we're living in crazy times, right? We're living in really crazy times, and the relationships are only getting crazier. That 30 minutes felt like 5 minutes. Is that me? That was 30 minutes. Is that me? Damn. Hey, get on your phone lines. I want to talk to you guys. Maybe that full moon is fucking with me too. I'm annoyed. What up, Jaren? That was fast as hell. Everybody hit the like button. 15 people still haven't hit the like button. Please support, support, support. Like it up, like it up. Hit the super chat if you can, or go directly to my Cash App. By the way, I sent out 10 shipments of He Is Risen today. Oh, yes, the Pray That Got Away is my relationship roundtable happening October 25th. All my online supporters, you guys can sign up and watch it online, right? It's going to be fresh. We're going to do it at One Stream Television Studios. It's going to be fresh. You guys should sign up. What is Mimi saying? Mimi, call in and talk to me, Mimi. Let me get a clearer understanding of your perspective. Mimi, would you please call in? Where you at, Mimi? I ain't heard from you in a long time. Call in, Mimi. It's been a minute. I pronounce it right? Jaren? Is that what it is? Mimi, call in. I want to get you in early. I got it. We got 3 minutes. If you guys want to support the show, hit my Cash App, $ZoWhatNetter, or hit the Cash App. The Cash App is the little $ down at the bottom of the chat. Show your love and your support. True Measy, what up, man? Oh, I heard my commercial. Yes, sir. The bigger the paycheck in this society has. I want y'all to call in. Y'all got to talk to me about this. Fuck it. I didn't want to throw it away, but I'm just got to get another one. Kenny Bless, I'm ready for the depth because this topic is fire. Kenny, call in. Nazarene, call in. Pretty Brown says she calling in. I want to understand. I still don't understand the topic. Don't worry, I'm not done with my setup. What up, Carrie? Hello, hope you are well from New Zealand. Welcome in, New Zealand. You don't get decenter. It means don't make men the center of women's lives, and men don't make women the center of men's lives. It's about recognizing red flags in other people, right? Recognizing red flags in other people and making those red flags more of a priority with regards to your attention given to that person. Remember, I just said it's the inverse, the reverse of the enhancement bias. The enhancement bias aggrandizes one's good aspects and minimizes their bad aspects because they have a vested interest in making the relationship work. Decenter means the opposite of that. Aggrandize their red flags and minimize, right? Do you understand? Minimize their good qualities, right? But the question this show is asking is very simple. Why don't you decenter yourself? Because if you're putting your best foot forward when you walk into a relationship, are you aggrandizing from an egotistical space? Are you aggrandizing your good qualities by putting your best foot forward and minimizing your negatives, keeping them secret, hiding them? Did you understand the topic now? Mimi, you understand the topic? Ida, you understand the topic? Nazarene, you got it?
I can see my parents moving to this shit. Drunk as hell.
Man, where my skates at? I'll be skating on this. So get up.
If you're anything like me, you've been seeing the word limerance all over social media for the past few months. And because I had no idea what it was, I had to do some research. The term limerance was coined by American psychologist Dorothy Tennov in the early 1970s, and she defined it in her 1979 book, Love and Limerence, The Experience of Being in Love. Tanab described limerence as an intense and involuntary state of mind, characterized by an overwhelming desire for reciprocation from a specific person. Tanab developed the concept of limerence after interviewing over 500 people on the topic of love in the mid-1960s. She defined limerence as a state of profound longing, intrusive thoughts, and heightened emotional dependence on another person. In other words, it's love addiction. And I personally would even go as far as saying that limerence has more in common with a trauma bond than it does with being in love, or even having a crush on someone. And to give you more context, limerence is when we have an intense, almost instantaneous infatuation with someone else. And this extreme excitement or lust is exacerbated by our concern about whether or not they feel the same way about us. One example of limerence is when Michael from The Office falls in love or lust with the chair model. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it's intense. He's completely obsessed with her, and he can't think of anything else for that entire episode, even though he doesn't know her, and she most definitely is not interested in him. Also, we find out she died in a car accident years before he knew of her existence. But that's a good example of kind of the experience that we're talking about here. That instantaneous, gotta have it, obsession feeling.
And isn't that most of the relationships? I remember back in the days when we saw Hollywood couples get together, break up a few months later. That was strange for us. Just regular folk watching TV. Wow, that relationship is over already, huh? It was strange. Now, all of the relationships seem like they suffer from some variation of love addiction, love bombing, breadcrumbing. Like it seems that it's gotten more and more toxic. And like I said in the beginning, most people don't understand the spiritual nature of relationship, which is designed to reveal you to you. Then you take responsibility for what comes up in your subconscious, which was laid out by Joseph Campbell in the first clip on the show. The topic: don't decenter them, decenter yourself. Now, you heard from yesterday's show and last week's show. Did you know your wounds could color how you see and perceive people? So some decentering has to happen. Decentering of the ego, decentering of childhood wounds, unrequited hurts. All this has to be decentered. Nope. No. We're not going to decenter any of that. What we're going to do is decenter the person that comes into our life that irritates those things. Do you see? Don't decenter them, decenter your ego. Decenter your unhealed wounds. Wounds are supposed to be healed. They're not supposed to be in a leadership position within your spirit. A lot of thought is being given to women decentering men and men decentering women. But perhaps there's a deeper problem to be spoken of: decentering of the self and ultimately the ego. Well, first, we need to define what the self actually is. According to Jungian philosophy, the self is a term that merely designates the whole personality. Put another way, by contemporaries like Jiddu Krishnamurti, you already know that's my guy, the self, or the name that identifies it, right? Or the name that identifies itself with the body, certain characteristics identifying itself with the me, who I think I am. Well, if you have an attachment style with subsequent attachment wounds, even who you think you are isn't what you really are or what you're really capable of, because you're seeing yourself through the filter of deep-seated issues. Now, the way we've been conditioned is to expect somebody, right? I'm sorry, is to expect somebody to show up and fit into your conditioning. You're not even psychologically set up to accept yourself, but you want somebody to accept the conditions you place on them. I mean, the wounds that haven't been dealt with, placed on you, that you now place on. Do you see the foolishness? Do I look like somebody that would go 50-50? I mean, look at me. Do you? I'll keep going. Simply put, it is a way of distinguishing oneself from the larger ethos of humanity or the society in which you live. Being able to clarify who you are, where you came from, and what came with you. Boy, you know how many people don't know what they brought with them to that relationship? Because it's all operating in the subconscious, on autopilot. Do you know how many people are just unaware? It makes relationships so very difficult to deal with. How does Carl Jung's concept of the self as the whole personality challenge the idea that decentering should focus on the ego rather than the relationship itself? Sounds like Zoe Williams. Didn't Zoe Williams tell y'all, go into every relationship self-observant? Keep an eye on how you're going to show up and how you're going to respond. But again, we live in a world that's backwards. In our world, it says, I didn't sign up for what you're supposed to be giving me. Now, listen, I didn't sign up. I signed up for something different. What you're actually giving me is different than what I signed up for, is what I'm trying to say. Like, we live in a really topsy-turvy kind of world. Is the ego always the enemy in relationship? Or does it sometimes serve as a necessary protective mechanism for self-preservation? How might understanding Krishnamurti's distinction between the self and the me reshape the way we engage in intimate relationships? Can one truly decenter the ego without recognizing the illusions that sustain it, as Ramana Maharishi suggests, through self-inquiry practices? I know, listen, I deal with people every day. Do you know how difficult it is for people to just sit down and go, wow, this is a heavy mother wound I've been carrying. I was just talking to a young brother today. He's in his 30s. I was like, you talk to your sister? Nah, man, it's been a couple years. What? He said, bro, okay, bro, I understand. I said, man, the world we live in is moving so fast, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. No, you right, bro. You right, big bro. I'm going to reach out. Yeah. Sometimes we make more space for the wound than we make for real connection, man. In what ways do attachment styles, as explained by Bowlby and Ainsworth, reveal the relationship between ego and self-centeredness in romantic relationships? Listen, there's a movement out here. Decenter him. Is that not implying that whoever him might be, that he is the problem always? If you're going to start a movement and it's a gender-based movement, hey, decenter him. And then the brothers, in their brokenness, flip it back. Hey, okay then, decenter her. And we never get to a point where we can come together and heal. And I love Barack Obama. I swear I do. But he's not helping. I love him, but he's not helping. As if we're not struggling with a gender war already. You gonna pop out and bang on the number 2 supportive gender group for the Democrats, which are black men, 2020. Black women showed up 97%. 2020, black men showed up 88%. You gonna bang on? You're not gonna say nothing about the 53% of white women who voted for Trump? As if we ain't got a gender war on our hands already. Boy, when I come forward, I swear I'm going to the phone lines. Let's get it! Let's get it, y'all.
Just like you, from big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV.
Y'all ready?
ladwp.com/EV.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just.
What up? Is everybody good?
Functionality and multiple powertrains. Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at LADWP.com.
Hey, do you guys know which groups I'm playing?
LADWP.com/free trees.
Are you guys aware of the groups I'm playing tonight?
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision.
So then this narrative about black men against Kamala doesn't exist then, or else he wouldn't have spoke about it though, right? So you're saying it doesn't exist?
What I'm saying is they'll look at a small demographic. They'll say, oh, the 30-year-olds are not really feeling her.
And that's not everybody.
Then they'll turn it into a blanket conversation. And you have to say, hey, wait a minute. Why would you do that? But they do that all the time.
So you can't trust the polls then?
No.
A lot of these polls be bullshit.
No. Listen, they did the same thing when they said, you know what? Harvard has a 13% increase in black students. Jesus wept. I'm not going off on Kamala. Not at all. I didn't even mention Kamala.
Presentation is Enhancement, which is about believing the best. Okay. Everyone wants to believe the best about their relationship, and this is called the enhancement motive. The individuals in every relationship want to believe that their relationship is worth their time and energy, and that their partner is good and trustworthy. So this motive leads to enhancement bias, which is the tendency to seek out information that strengthens these desired beliefs about their relationship.
An example of this can be found with Yumi and Endo's and others' research study, which was a cross-cultural study that looked at the positive illusions and relationship-serving biases among a particular section of college students in the University of British Columbia. These participants were of Asian Canadian, Japanese, and European Canadian descent. The researchers hypothesized there would be some kind of cultural confounding factor that caused individuals of certain backgrounds to have higher enhancement biases towards their relationship with their best friends, a closest family member, and a romantic partner. However, that was not the case. They found that across all.
So again, the enhancement bias. You want to believe the best. Now we live in a time, well, I don't want to believe the best. I want to look at the negative aspects of this person, and I will judge if I should go forward. But I keep telling you, relationship is a mirror. What you recognize in others exists in you. Many people do not want to accept that. You got so many people out here that want to shut the relationship is a mirror talk down. But that's how it's that's how it is. That's how it works in the universe. As above, so below, as above. Right? What about entanglement? Yeah, quantum mechanics, entanglement. Oh, so two electrons can be entangled? Oh, absolutely. Yes. And once they become entangled, no matter of distance between them will prevent them from having instant communication. So if one entangled particle is 1 billion trillion light years away from the other, and how it operates in quantum mechanics, electrons have something called spin, and this is why they liken them to tops. They don't actually spin, but this is how theoretical physicists envision their movement. So one could have a north node spin, one electron, and the other could have a south node spin, right? If you change, regardless of the distance, even Einstein went to his death trying to disprove this, and he lost that battle, legendary battle against Niels Bohr, who saw Einstein as a rock star. He was a younger physicist. If you change one electron from north to south, the other one instantaneously flips. That challenged Einstein's speed of light notion. You say, hey, what moves faster than the speed of light? Obviously, consciousness. Well, relationships are working the same way. Relationships are mirrored just like those electrons are. And you have to remember, physics deals with the physical world. That's why it's called physics, how reality works. But somehow this doesn't apply to your relationships. I guess consciousness doesn't apply to your relationship. I guess you could see the devil in somebody, recognize the devil, and not have the devil in you. Listen, let's make it simple. Go watch The Exorcist 1973. Go watch any Exorcist movie. Why is it that little possessed person always got a demon in them that know all the secrets of the reverend? You remember that? You remember that girl you killed? You can't come in here to exercise me. Relationship is a mirror. That's what makes those movies good, by the way. Do not listen to him. He's a liar. No, you remember you killed that girl. You know the exorcism wasn't working and you went on anyway. The doctor told you. Listen, that's what it is. We don't want to believe in the mirror of relationship, but that's how it works. You get who you are. We've got callers on the line. I want to get them in here right now. Who do we got? Let me get them right now. Who do we got? Okay. Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia. Get in here, bro.
What up, huh?
What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I think society need to grow up, man. This whole thing just got me. You know, I'm laughing it all off in my head. It's reminding me of that character in Django that Samuel L. Jackson played. Like, who that ninja on that nag? Like, you need to get off your high horse. You know, like, all type of stuff. Like, man.
Mm-hmm.
I hope your character comes with a kickstand, because it's going to be crazy out here. This whole planet's spinning.
Yeah.
It's going to get loopy, you feel me? So,
Yeah.
man, I applaud you for having the fortitude and just the same mind and the clear thought for you to be able to dive in and deal with this type of crap.
No, because we need each other.
Don't even want to hear it. Yeah, for sure.
We need each other. Man, we need sisters. Brothers need sisters. Sisters need brothers. But for some reason, we want to decenter each other. Man, stay with me. Don't go nowhere. Don't go. When we come forward, I'm going back to Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get it. Hey, the Omen was crazy. Nah, for real. So, have you guys identified the groups that I'm playing? Mimi, you should have been in here. Where is Mimi? Mimi playing. She said she was going to call. I have the what? You have Roddy's. We can't be friends. What is that? I don't even know what you meant to write. Riri Jordan. Hey, Zoe. I miss seeing you on 5150. It ain't nothing but love. Nothing but love for the 5150 crew. Oh, Lord, sweet Jesus, help me kill. Oh, Lord, sweet Jesus, help me kill this nigga. Django, you up in a nigga. They gonna kill you, Django. When they find you, Django, this Candyland, nigga. Oh, sweet Jesus, help me kill this nigga. Oh, sweet Jesus, help me kill this. Man, that was one of the funniest scenes in that movie. When they find you, they gonna kill you, Django. That ending scene, hey, third eye, that ending scene. Oh, sweet Jesus, help me kill this nigga. Funny. No, Samuel L. Jackson killed that role. You know that nigga. I know you know that nigga. You know that nigga, don't you? Oh, man. Here we go.
Become your soulmate. Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff? The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, is this gonna be a roll up there?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with the bad vibes routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man moves on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you make women so well?
So William.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
To have a happy relationship, you should see your partner for who they are, right? You should accept all their flaws, right? Well, according to some surprising research, maybe you should do the exact opposite and delude yourself about how perfect they are. A few years ago, experimenters went to a courthouse in Buffalo and rounded up about 200 couples who were there for marriage licenses. They checked in with these couples for the next 3 years, asking each person individually about the quality of their partner. How kind were they? How often did they pick fights? That sort of thing. They also had to tell the researchers about the traits that an ideal imaginary partner would have. And here's the surprise. A lot of couples said their spouses were a lot like their ideal partners, even if their spouses didn't report those traits in themselves. In other words, these people were convincing themselves their spouses were perfect. Shockingly, as the years went by, these couples who deluded themselves ended up happier than those who were more realistic about their partners. It has to do with the power of positive illusions in general. They can be self-fulfilling prophecies. Basically, if we think highly of another person, that person is more...
Listen, the way your brain is set up, you can't see all the negative stuff about your partner in the beginning in order for y'all to make it. That's all he's saying. You can't. And now we got a whole movement out here to decenter men, decenter women. You guys are going to be lonely forever. Relationships are designed to irritate you. They're designed to ruffle your kind of spiritual feathers, so to speak. How else are you going to grow? How else are you going to see yourself? Relationships are the conduit to self-awareness. You know? We got Nazarene X. I want to get his final thought. Nazarene, get back in here and finish it, bro.
Oh, man. I pray that even as adults, we just tap back into our inner child in all of the ways. I believe we find a smile inside, like a way to kind of laugh things off. But again, like you were speaking to earlier, like you got to have a sense of self. But at the same time, like, we don't even, I mean, like, people will get online and play all day, say whatever, make up new words and terms. Oh, you got cooties. Like, it reminds me of that type of thing. But, like, partnership for real, or that recess thing where we all actually get together, like, the whole point is to not abandon the game, or, like, to stick by one another's side and play it through, like, if it's
or the
bad,
process,
don't renege.
right?
Yeah, like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's basically when you get in with someone and you stay on your square, you can look at it like, all right, I'm here to see what God wants to reveal through us coming together.
How about that?
And so, like, whole time, like, you just stick to your alignment, and that way, like, I mean, this coming from somebody that playfully, like, I'm way off my rocker. Off top. So,
Come on, it's all good.
Swing on things, like, but I'm a straight up stand up man. So it is balanced, and I'm not perfect. I don't expect anyone else to be, but like, you ain't about to just drop kick me for real. Like, it ain't about that, man. Sisters and brothers, man, let's just stick together and let them
other people
folk have what they keep me in order, Unc. I love you, man. I'm gonna get out of here before I do something.
Right.
Maybe later.
Hey, thank you, brother. You brought Atlanta in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We got Attila from Houston, Texas. Attila, get in here. What are your thoughts?
Hey, yo.
Yo. We in here turned up right now. Go ahead.
I hear. I wanted to address some things because I know you brought up the lady Kayla Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was an interesting way to bring that in because for a few things, for starters, the whole materialism thing, that's built off of vanity, right, which is ego. And it's interesting how people can function in that way, meaning they're giving up on their self, on love, right, for what's materialistic. And then they're surprised when they attract someone who is just as vain and materialistic as them because they've foregone their humanity in a sense. And you embrace an existence that's not fruitful, right? So I think some of this is matrix magic to keep you
asleep to keep you unconscious, hence
Mm.
these different movements
Mm.
that are not about growing and uplifting. And I'm not saying that you can't find value in some of these movements, but what I am saying is that there's not really a suggestion or a desire for growth in a mindset that's limited on material.
Do you see it as a movement that kind of encumbers your ability to like cultivate this self-awareness that is necessary for you to grow?
Well, I can't have self-awareness if I'm only aware of you.
Ooh, ooh, I got to be aware of me, huh? How about that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and the thing about the ego, the reason why I really wanted to focus on that piece is because the ego is insatiable. And so if your ego is found through vanity or money or whatever your source is, we like to make it seem as if it's different somehow. That because you're asking for what you may see as provision or, as Mimi mentioned, allowances, that somehow that's better. But it's still coming from a place of ego. So it's insatiable for the things of this world. And again, your partner is likely going to be as lustful as you. So when Kayla Nicole, you know, she did this like interview, I remember, where she's talking about how she dated a guy, it didn't go well, and then she finds out he's with someone else, and she dresses like his ex for Halloween. People do the research and figure out it's Tiana Taylor.
Sounds egoic to me.
Who married him? So I say all that to say, not only is that just creepy,
Petty.
but then to bring it up,
Right.
it's weird. And to bring it up, I think, after the fact, really shows where people are in their consciousness. So I think we got to be careful following these people just because they're attractive or they have money.
Now,
Like,
she is
really
attractive,
sit
though.
down and, yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah,
But I
she
mean,
is gorgeous now.
listen to the things that come out of these people's mouths, right? Like, what are you actually modeling and molding yourself after in the conquest for love?
That's heavy.
What do their love lives look like?
Yeesh.
Like, they don't look good. So, I mean, to me, that self-awareness piece is always going to be your compass for truth.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to tap into that. And your partner likely will be the same person who does the same thing. But, you know, as long as you're looking at them,
Right. You're
going
not
into a wall.
you're not looking at yourself. I love it. I love it. Attila, you always bring the fire. We appreciate the info. This is another one of Attila's topics, man. Attila be like, you know about decenter? No, I don't know about no dang decenter. Tell me about it. Oh, Lord, they doing this. Let's do it. Let's go. So, hey, we appreciate you for always contributing to the show. You are a gem. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Hey, you want to bring your city in the building? You know what you got to do. All you got to do is call me, Zoe Williams, right here, 1-800-920-1580. Listen, don't decenter them. Decenter yourself, right? In contemporary discourse surrounding relationships, there's a growing emphasis on the need for individuals, primarily women, to decenter men and vice versa. However, this focus on shifting the relational center may obscure a more profound issue: the necessity of decentering oneself and ultimately their ego. Engaging in this self-reflective process opens pathways to healthier relationships and a more profound understanding of connection. Defining the self to explore the idea of decentering, we must first define what we mean by the self. And you already heard the young piece. The self is your personality. But for most of us, our personality was crafted by early childhood dysfunction. So if it was crafted by early childhood dysfunction, how can you see another clearly? If you see yourself as normal, hold tight. Normal's a bad word. I'm just using it to make a point. If you see yourself as ain't nothing wrong with me, that means how you've been looking at the world with this hurt filter on, with this I'm not enough filter on, with this, I need love filter, or I need space filter, or I need them both. Like, if you don't understand what kind of filters you're looking at the world through, it's going to manifest in your relationship as conflict. That's typically how it works. Oh, we got my brother Kurt on the line from Pasadena. Always gotta bring Kurt in. I love Kurt. Love his insight. Pasadena in the building. What up, Kurt? Talk to me.
How you guys doing?
Man, I'm alive and well, man. Good to hear from you, brother.
Hey, I wanted to quickly explain this quantum entanglement to you.
Please.
What Niels Bohr and Einstein didn't understand, that a particle is one of the few things in the universe that if you split it, it still remains the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason they both turn at the same time, because actually they split something that was never supposed to be split in the first place. And so no matter what the distance is between them, they're splitting the same thing.
Do tell. Say more.
That's about that. That's just as, because when you're dealing with things like particles, you're also dealing with something that is in the ethereal realm and also in the world that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
But in the ethereal realm, there's no such thing as time.
Okay, so now you're getting into the measurement problem, where we look at this one electron and we recognize that it is a probability wave before we actually observe it. And when we set up instrumentation to observe it, the probability wave, which says that the electron or the particle is in superposition, meaning it's everywhere at once. Once we observe it, once we observe it, the probability wave collapses and then it lands at a particular point. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. But no, that's in the corporeal world. But in the ethereal realm, there's no such thing as time.
Oh, I love it.
And these principles work on both sides. So they're dealing with things that work. They're dealing with things that work in another dimension, actually. And that's why they call it spooky. They'll never figure it out.
Man, I'm glad you here tonight, Kurt, because I'm going to say this. Yeah. I think relationship works in the same way. We do have a corporeal aspect of it, but then there's this non-corporeal aspect. And this is where the generational trauma and lessons and psychological issues, this is where all of that stuff is sitting. And then you think, right. And then you think, egoically, me as the self, I chose this person and they chose me. Not understanding that it could be lineages on both sides choosing through you. Come on, talk to me, Kurt. That's why you come on.
You're on the right track. So I'm a spiritualist, so I look at the world from the spiritual realm outward, where science looks from the world outside inward.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the thing from the ethereal realm, everything, you pick your parents, like I've heard you say, and you pick your relationships. Everything is selected. You have free will, but your spirit is still going to push you and force you into doing the things that you planned on before you got here.
Keep going. This is deep. Wait a minute. This deep. See,
I gotta come to your cigar lounge.
You do. You do. You just said something that's real powerful. You said we have free will. Yes, we do have the power to choose, but I don't think we gain the wisdom, right, to make the right choice until we mismanage free will a few times.
Because they're using their brain and not the spiritual side of their aspect.
Stay with me. Don't leave, Kirk. When we come for it, I'm going back to Pasadena. Let's go. Woo! Yo, Kurt out here wildin'. Kirk said, "You smart man." I know a couple of things. Shit. One or two. Nah, I ain't even gonna say I know two. I know one, maybe a half of one thing. What up, Nikki from the SIP? Hey, get on the phone lines. Call your brother Zoe. Are you watching the game? Who's winning? Pretty Brown Mimi, the phone lines have been open for you to call. Where you at, Pretty Brown Mimi? Please get in here. I need to talk to you tonight. One 1-800-920-1580. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Andy is sitting right there, ready for your call, Mimi. I needed that word. Call right now. He's right there. When you called, he was over there. Now he's right there. I do love you. I love you so right now. Little darling, I said I love you so right now.
In a mesh relationship, how it was explained to me by my therapist, who was also my psychiatrist, is a relationship that is largely too dependent on the other person in a variety of different ways, where the boundaries of that relationship are not clear. They're very intertwined and mixed, so much so that you couldn't even really spell out or point out the boundaries of the relationship because they may not even exist anymore. And what had happened in my relationship is we were together for 6 years. And around year 4, 5, and 6, we started to have a lot of issues in our relationship. And a lot of it stemmed from this enmeshed state where I would feel very responsible for my partner's well-being, for their own mental state. I would also put a lot of responsibility on my partner for my own mental.
Very heavy piece right here. But I got Kurt on the line. And I know Kurt could build. So when I hear enmeshed, I also hear entangled. And I think a lot of people get it twisted. They think that love is this, blissful and free and it ain't gonna cost you nothing. I believe every struggle you go through is the down payment to ascend to the consciousness level of love. And most people don't realize where we are in class. Say everything we've gone through is a type of curriculum, right? We're in school, we're learning, we're failing, we're struggling, we're hurting. You'll have people come up with ideas like, oh, love is not enough, or unconditional love is dangerous because somebody will treat you any kind of way because you love them unconditionally. I'm saying you're not even at the consciousness level to even say something like that. You're still in class. You still got to go through some things in order to ascend to that level of consciousness. What are your thoughts?
So there's only one relationship that you need to nurture.
Talk to us.
That's the one between you and yourself, your spirit. Once you nurture that relationship, once you solidify that, that's the only place you're going to find true love anyway. Because your spirit is with you all the time. It's the only thing you can depend on. That's the only thing you can have true love with. Once you establish that relationship, all the other problems will fall away. And then your spirit will basically lead you to that relationship. Because you're listening to it now. We're using too much of our brain and none of our soul. Church teaches us not to use our spirits because they want us to do what they want us to do. But they don't want us to be independent like that. So basically, the greatest relationship you'll ever acquire is the one that you have with your own spirit. And there's a lot of exercises that you can do to obtain that.
Give us one. I know there's meditation, but give us. Yes.
Give it a name. I'm Kurt, so I call mine Big Kurt, and I thank Big Kurt every day because that's what gives your life a spark.
Come on.
That's what energizes you. And then before I get in my car, I say, okay, Big Kurt, make sure there's no accidents out here today while I'm on this freeway. Anything I ask my spirit to do, it will do it. And so it responds. So the whole thing is, it's something that I know. Like, for instance, you had a psychic on a couple of months ago, and she was telling Atala what to do. And I was like, don't listen to her, Atala. You need to listen to yourself. You got to communicate with your spirit because that's where all your answers are.
Come on. And Kurt and Big Kurt, I love that. It reminds me of Dr. David R. Hawkins in his works, Power versus Force, the eye of the I. He says something, there's you, the self, with a little s, and then there's you, the infinite self, with a capital S. Yeah, I hear you, brother.
And one of the other exercises you can do is ask your spirit to help you do something that you're not familiar with. If you never baked a cake, ask your spirit to show you how to bake a cake. And make that a project. Spend time with your spirit. You know, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get it. Spirit's going to say, get a cookbook. You know, but by the end of the day, you'll have your cake and you will realize that it would never have gotten done had your spirit. I have a million stories, but I'm just telling you, the relationship between you and your spirit is the most important one. You'll never get along with another person if that one is not solidified.
Come on, brother. Hey, man, I really appreciate you, Kirk. You come on down to the cigar lounge. I got a cigar for you, man. You brought Pasadena in the building, brother. We appreciate the call. If you want to bring your city in the building and get to cooking like Kirk, all you got to do is call me 1-800-920-1580. Leroy, Inglewood, California. Get in here.
Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?
It's you, brother. I already know. I already know what's about to go down.
Man, I thought you was going to hold me over. I thought I was going to get in after this break, but let me touch it. So this is a private question I have. I'm going to say it in public, but I did not expect an answer. Is that all right, Brother Zell?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, you know, all this is in and by the way, hats off to Kirk. Damn.
Kirk was in here cooking.
Lord have mercy. Kirk was digging with God's finger up in the well.
Yes, sir.
Well. Well. All right, I'm sorry. I just had to just give Kirk his props. And you know, Angela, she's awesome. So I'm
Yes.
starting to fall in love with Angela. I don't know where she at, but I'm reaching out like one of them old things that just got separated that be spinning around, and no matter where it goes, spin the other way. I think particles as they go.
Yeah. Hey, well, hey, listen, like Kirk said, just ask Big Leroy to make it happen.
Oh yeah, are you gonna be at the Taste of Soul, brother?
You know, I might duck in, show myself, you know.
Man, you be ducking in, but you be ducking out quick as you duck in, you know?
It's just how I get down. That's all. Yes.
All right. So this is another question I'm asking.
Oh, wait.
With no expectation of a public
Wait,
answer, okay?
hold on, Leroy. You done had so much fun. I got to carry you over now.
Oh, see, it ain't all bad. It ain't all bad.
So hold tight. When we come forward, we going to Inglewood, and then we going to South Central Los Angeles. I blame the co-host. It's crazy. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, this show different. We got the brother spiritualist calling in. Yo, this show hitting different. Am I lying? Hey, all the lurkers back there, say what's up. Holla at me. Are you enjoying tonight's topic? Are you getting some understanding out of tonight's topic? And we still waiting on Mimi. Still waiting on Mimi. Still waiting on Mimi. Still waiting on Mimi. Hey, anybody seen Mimi? No? Yeah, she was in the chat earlier. Hey, Mimi. Tavara. We need it. Oh, now you want me. That's ugly. Don't do me like that, Mimi. Get in here like we asked. How is Sarah doing? Sarah's great. She was just here yesterday. Today is Tuesday, right? Today is Tuesday, yeah? Yes, she was here yesterday. She did my show yesterday. Hey, where's everybody going? We had almost 60 people in here. Where's everybody at? Please like and share. Let's get these numbers back up. She pulled that anxious, preoccupied, gotcha card. Gotcha. Sarah makes me laugh so much. Yeah, Sarah was there acting crazy. Yeah, maybe people are losing some connection. What if Mimi was a guy's name? Let me tell you a story. I got an uncle. His name is Marvin. My uncle was a hooper. He was a hooper. And I don't know what it is about lefties, but dude, we got lefties in my family that can hoop. I'm a lefty. My son's a lefty. My Uncle Marvin was a lefty. My little cousin Mike is a lefty. And we all had that strap. All could shoot, you know what I mean? But when Marvin was a kid, they used to call him Mimi. He had like 6, maybe 4 or 5 sisters. So the sisters would call him Mimi. And then when he got to a certain, don't call me Mimi. Call me Marv. Nah, but we got like lefties, man. You know, only 15% of the population is actually, of the globe, is left-handed. So to have so many lefties in the family was crazy. And my Uncle Marvin, man, he could hoop. He could hoop. But his game rubbed people the wrong way. And the reason why is because he could hoop. He didn't want to pass. He wasn't passing the ball. He could hoop. He'd be running the point. Niggas be like, I'm open. I'm open. Cash. 46. 49. 50. 52. You know. He just wouldn't pass. Everybody be like, damn, we just out here running up and down the court with him. He didn't give a damn. He was not passing. It's a team sport. Listen, we winning by 12. Okay. But you got 46 of the 58 points. You know, like, come on, man. He was a ball hog for sure. But I used to watch him play, man. He was a player. Yep. You lose and play. Watching you. Watching down the street. Watching ladies go by watching you. The ladies, all of them fine. I can't make up my mind.
From a yogic perspective, someone who believes that they are a failure has a big ego. And you may say, well, hold on a second, what is that like? I thought people who are failures have small egos. No, their sense of self is very strong. I am a failure. And that's a defining part of who they are. So their ego is actually quite large. It is the ego of failure or success or whatever. I am a doctor. I am a failure. It's still I am and then a very big thing. And then think about how that shapes their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions. When an opportunity arises, hey, I really think that you'd be a great fit for like this job. Or hey, I heard that so-and-so has a crush on you. You should really think about asking them out. And even if you're attracted to that person and you want that job, your ego will step in and it will say they wouldn't take you. You'll screw it up anyway. They're not interested in dating you. So your sense of self defines the way that you interact with the world. From a yogic perspective, someone
Wow.
who believes that they
That's
are
deep. Your sense of self defines how you interact with the world. And what if your sense of self is distorted because you went through something when you were a child? And how will that play out in adult relationships? Let's get our brother Leroy. Leroy Inglewood, you already know. Following the hills of Kurt. Come on, Leroy, let's cook.
That's right. Well, you know, I'm not going to compete with Kirk today. He's the captain today. He was on his square, and I got to give him his props.
Absolutely.
I must say. But this is my private question in public with no expectation of a public answer. Did you get permission to teach and expose the inepts as though they were adepts, knowing they are not?
Yes, I got
Maturity.
permission.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't owe me that answer. You don't owe me that answer. I'm
No.
not qualified to accept.
I understand the question and I understand where it's coming from. Yes, I got permission.
Okay. All right, that's a love question, right? I'm going to mention a name, but I'm not going to say much about it. Gabriel Oyibo, good doctor, who deals in the realm of the quantum physics and the unified field theory. But I just want to just touch on what you were saying earlier. One, dealing with the self and not knowing the self, and Atala chiming in her own magical way. And, you know, we got it kind of bad if you don't know who you are and the people around you don't know either, so you can't lean on nobody to get the example, and you're in a space that's designed to keep you ignorant of that self, because then you'll realize who you were in the first place. So that's rough. And you're on the air trying to prick at people to remind them of who they really are, and they're not interested in Shahrazad Ali or Queen Afua or even Pearl or all these other things that's on that could tell them that the way they're doing it is backwards and it's going to lead to results they don't want. They don't want that. They want Megan Thee Stallion. They want the best. They want that. And then here you come trying to provide healing, and you got to run a master class for adepts, knowing that the inepts can't keep up, but you put it out there on the air as though they can. No offense, because I know you're trying to help healing. President Obama is not helping. He's making it worse. The man whose comportment and composure as a modern world leader I sorely miss every day. A man who I got to give props for having a wife that is so ladylike, refined as she is, sure enough fine.
As frog hair,
President
yes.
Obama has a long black bourgeoisie history of downing black men in public while giving gifts to the others who already got the leg up. He's been doing that for a while. Remember Jesse Jackson got caught on tape, said he wanted to do something to him because of the way he talked down to black men.
He did
and
say
they got
that.
on, and they jumped on Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
And Obama's still doing it to this day.
Yeah, it was a hot mic. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hot mic. And mind you, Jesse Jackson is related, got a relative in Michelle Obama's family. He was the first one to help Obama realize that he could actually run for president after year. But we down the one who's helping us the most and go against the
Now, but Leroy, let me.
We run to the one that's hurting us and hate us, and we run against the ones who support us the most.
Right. But Leroy, let me play a little tennis with you now. A little table tennis.
Help me.
See, First and foremost, back to your initial question. You know I couldn't speak this way if I didn't have the permission to do so. I've been sent here on a mission to get this work in. So, and then we also know that even, you said the adepts to the inepts. That's heavy. Let me just say, we do know that once you hear the bell ring, you can't unring the sound. So sometimes all they got to do is hear the information to be triggered to remembering the information. That's all. They don't even have to understand it initially. They just have to be exposed to it. Sometimes it's the exposure alone that will trigger something in the seeker, that will trigger the seeker within the person who was once, what they call it, blind, deaf, and dumb. Is that what they? Yeah. So sometimes just hearing it wakes them up and they go, oh, wow, I ain't never heard somebody frame it that way. I've never heard somebody put it together that way. And listen, man, we're in a time, and I'm sure you'll understand this, Leroy. We're in a time where we as a people can't play no more. If your spirit is bad, it don't matter what condition your politics are in. Do you understand? Like if we're horrible people, we lack integrity, we lack character, we lack courage, we lack consciousness. Oh, but we gonna vote right.
You sound like you're on a yellow brick road.
But do you see what I'm saying? So to me, and maybe you can expound on this a little bit for me, Leroy. To me, relationship is the linchpin that holds it all together. As Kurt said, number one, the relationship with oneself. Who am I? Where did I come from? And what am I bringing with me to you? Right? Let's figure that out. Then once we figure that out, man, who are you? And where did you come from? And what are you bringing to me? Now, do we have the fortitude to weather the stuff we brought to each other in order to evolve together? Your thought?
I think you know what the heck you talking about. I think you've been here on a mission. You know what your mission is. You're not going. You're moving closer to Kevin Samuels and Bobby Hemmett, but you're not spinning out of control, and you're not doing too much Red Bull, or spewing too much of the same. So I'm grateful for you, man. Keep up the great work. Don't beat up on the audience every night, maybe twice a week.
Am I beating them up, Leroy? Leroy, am I beating?
No, hold on. Look. You've been on a roll for the last 3.5 months. You kicked it up a notch. By design, on purpose. Not by accident. But then the last 2 weeks, you start going into like attack mode against the audience, like you don't give a damn, like you about to get off the air, like you about to go on a hiatus or something. Now you modulating on us like you're in a transition period. So I'm just hoping that the love, the space for grace, is just as strong as the needed dose of turpentine in the sugar to kill all these parasites and diseases that have been beset upon us. So thank you.
No, thank you, brother. We appreciate you, Leroy. You brought Inglewood in the building. When I come forward, one of my favorites is on the line. You already know what it is. South Central Los Angeles. Let's get it. He said, turpentine. He said, you sound like you about to leave. You teaching and preaching like you on your way out. And the playlist was dumb as hell tonight. Yo, this was great. Still waiting on Mimi. And then she puts in call is in the bill. Where you at, Mimi? You supposed to be in here. You supposed to be on the line, Mimi. I've been wanting to talk to you all night. We need some feminine energy. Maybe your voice and your soothing presence can calm me down, can take some of the edge off. What up, Sarah? Hey, Andy, that's the commercial. That's the commercial. And it played twice. Once in the first hour, once in the second. My day was great. How was yours? And that's what I said. I need you to call in here. You just been ignoring me this whole time, Mimi. Excellent. For sure. Hey, what did you guys think of tonight's playlist? Mama Boo Smith. What? She not gonna call. I ain't even tripping. She not gonna call. The playlist has been smooth for sure. Y'all said barbecue summertime jams. This shit's have been fire.
Intellectually, we understand that the observer is the observed. But what is necessary to perceive this so that it goes beyond the intellectual level? Intellectually, we understand that the observer is the observed. But what is necessary to perceive this so that it goes beyond the intellectual level? The question is, what is necessary to go beyond this intellectual acceptance that the observer is the observed? Right? First of all, do we even intellectually accept it? Our question was so deep. Do you even intellectually, that is, verbally, logically, discerning, and say, yes, it is so logically? Because it be pointed out objectively, logically. And you say, yes. Is that so? Do you even intellectually accept that? Or It's just little words floating around.
Man, Krishnamurti, my favorite. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Got to play him. Sorry. But again, he's challenging. We've got all of these intellectual traps and concepts and boxes. He says something that was quite profound in one of his books. I think it was The First and Last Freedom. He says, man will always be separate because of conceptual thinking. And everybody think they know what's best for them without knowing themselves. Somebody go meme it. Somebody meme that up for me. Everybody think they know what's best for themselves without first knowing themselves. Relationship is the classroom where you discover self-knowledge. But because you don't know yourself and you're afraid to know and learn yourself, what you do is you create all of these ideological constructs that people are supposed to operate in, right? Based on your conditioning, based on your expectations. Hey, if you fit this box, then I'll be safe. Well, if you were yourself, you wouldn't have to be safe. Somebody meme it. Somebody meme it up. If you were your true self, I don't think you would be in pursuit of safety. Ooh, you'd be self-assured, I tell you that much. Let me get my brother. JW, South Central LA is in the building. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Hey, so, man, you know, I had to apologize, bro, for not coming on in a while, but, you know, I'll be multitasking, and I'm a news junkie, and et cetera, and I don't get a chance to do deep dives in what you be communicating on. But anyway, besides that, just to go back and coin a phrase that I heard you mention about in reference to I bring 100% and you bring 100% and we have 200%. Mm-hmm. And to me, I see that as a solution, and it makes me harken back to comments I have said in the past over and over again in terms about being equally yoked and et cetera. But let me back out of that, ramble on something else, and then come back to that and connect the dots. Well, I got to give you your props, man. You are sitting here. I realize I'm sitting here. You do trigger me. Things that has been spoken on always triggered me. So it's meant to be, as you commented. And I can't go into detail because it's hard for me to retain thought because I got so much on my plate, bro. Mm-hmm. And this is real talk. Maybe you got to talk in person, but that's another thing. Going back to, as I was trying to say, man, I'm going to tie this in with what another brother said about Big James and Little James, or whatever term he used.
Big Kurt and Little Kurt. Yeah, come on.
Right. Yeah, see, I always, Jimmy Lee White, and I hate using my government name, but I prefer JW. But Jimmy Lee White, and I told Cornel West that when I met him for the first time. But anyway, that's another story. Mm-hmm. I see it like this. Man, I always got to acknowledge God, the supreme architect of the universe. Now, I won't go into a tangent on that because I think I made a reference to that in the past, and I think you know who or how I came up in that secret knowledge and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I won't elaborate. But anyway, now, so if the whole audience nationwide don't catch that, so be it.
Come on, anyway, bring it home, J-Dub. I'm with you.
Yeah. So, God, you got to recognize him, give him the glory for, that spirit within inside ain't no big whoever. But if you want to entitle him as a little bit J-Dub or a little bit Zoe or a little bit whatever the guy's name was, so be it. Uh-huh. That's all good. Uh-huh. But that supreme architect of the universe is the grand master of the universe, and that's Jehovah. Yahweh, any other term you want to call him, recognize him as, and give him the glory. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
No, we don't agree. We don't disagree with that. Come on.
Right. I'm not saying we did. But back to you know, that mirror thing.
You got 90 seconds, J-Dub.
You got 90 seconds, J-Dub.
Okay, good. Right on, Andy. Once we knew or know who we are, or come to grips to who we are, and our faults and our flaws, and accept ourselves for who we are, then that's how we can recognize and see ourselves in others once we come to that perfection, so to speak. And there's a record out, I can't take it in this group, but he says, how does he phrase it? I see me in you, and I want nobody else.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Real talk, just real talk. So, and then we can go on. I wish I had time. I gotta land this plane. I wish I could go to this mathematics and theory and physics, because there, as the other brother made a reference to, and I was trying to make a comment on him earlier. Yeah, there's some proof to that. And there's some reality to everything that's been said.
You know what? This is what you got to do for me, brother. Just call me tomorrow. Call me early. I'll get you in early and we'll catch up, man. Let's do it.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, JW, South Central Los Angeles. Listen, I start the conversations. It's up to you to finish them. Listen, nobody's trying to be right. We're trying to be in alignment. Let's get in alignment with each other. You continue this conversation that I started tonight, and I'll bring you a new one tomorrow. Hey, the VOR. I'm always on fire. Let's get it. J-Dub wasn't playing. J-Dub, man. But that's another story. And then I'm going to start another story and tell you, well, you know what? That's another story. And then, as a matter of fact, wait a minute, that's another story. I'll cover that later. Hey, fire. I'm Ghost. But that's another story, Andy. Yeah, he was everywhere. Hey, and you know what? That's another story. All right, bro. Yes, sir. But that's another story. Sir, that was 18 stories. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had a good time. I had a good time. Your brother Zoe Williams, I'm out. Deuces.